Yes, people, welcome back to GNA TV and Chelsea Fan TV. I hope you guys are well, wherever it is that you may be around the world. Raheem Sterling. Yes, Raheem Sterling is supposedly going to be the first player through the door. Fabrizio Romano obviously announced it yesterday. We're going to be talking Raheem Sterling on the show today. We're also going to be talking about Nathan Ake, Raphinha, Dembele as well. We've got quite a lot to go through today just to catch up on where we're at in regards to Chelsea news. But make sure, guys, that you're smashing the likes, subscribe if you're new to GNA TV and Chelsea Fan TV as well. GNA TV on their road to 10k subscribers. So if you are new, please come over and subscribe to the channel. And I believe that Chelsea Fan TV have just hit the magic 150k subscribers. So thank you very much for everyone that's helped get us to there as well. Next aim will be to get to that big 200k mark over there. So much to discuss. Sorry I'm in my vest, but it's baking in the UK today. It's so hot. I literally could not sit in this room without having a vest on. But before we move forward, guys, and we get into things, let's cue that in. Yes, people, welcome back to GNA TV and Chelsea Fan TV. And we are back again with another transfer news show, Chelsea transfer news show, just to go through with you guys the up-to-date news and what are the big topics in and around Chelsea at the moment. And the big topic at the moment is Raheem Sterling. Looks like he's going to be Chelsea's first player through the door. Now, we're going to be going through all of them tweets and comments, getting your thoughts in the chats as well. We're going to talk about how Raheem Sterling can be utilised in this Chelsea team. What sort of formations can we play? What sort of, different systems, etc., etc. But guys, before we get into things, I need you to smash them likes. Let's get these likes over 100 likes, both on the GNA TV side and the Chelsea Fan TV side. We've got 110 people on the Chelsea Fan TV side. Welcome every single one of you guys. GNA TV, we've got nearly 70 of you guys here. Thank you very much, guys, for tuning in as well. Big up to you guys, as always. And let's try, like I said, close these likes to 100. But we're going to say hello to everyone in the chat before we get into things. Vinny, nice to see you, man. I hope you're well. Trooper, nice to see you. Says, why Sterling not in USA squad and why no press conference yet from Bowley? He's not had his medical. So once he has his medical, then potentially he will go and join them in the USA, which is the plans moving forward with Raheem Sterling. Big up to Brad, the Joker, Trang, Distriction, John CFC. Big up to Sammy, who's in the house as well. Surfs, Daniel, Erin, nice to see you, bro. This is Raphinha next. We are going to be talking Raphinha in a bit as well. Dan, big up to you as well. Concierge. Kai, nice to see you. Donna, nice to see you. Ilias, which is road to 10k. Big up to you, my guy. Big up to CFC Stephen as well. Nice to see you in the house. Martins as well. Concierge of Crime. So many of you. So I'm going to be here all day. Charles, big up to you. Matthew. Who else have we got here? CFC Ditz, nice to see you. Chelsea fan. Who else have we got here? Proud to be a Geordie. Enjo, Sean, Chelsea CFC. What else have we got here? We've got quite a lot of you guys. As you're slowly all coming into the show, let's start getting into things. I want to know what your thoughts and feelings are, guys, on Raheem Sterling to Chelsea. We'll be talking more about him a little bit later in the show today. But we're going to start off with some other news in and around Chelsea. And what a place start. Big up to Declared. Nice to see him. He says, big up, Jim. First transfer. Yes, that first transfer. Something that Chelsea fans have been dying for. Just get us a player. Get him across the line. We need a player. And it seems like Raheem Sterling's the number one. And to be honest, if you'd have asked me a couple of weeks ago who would be the first player to come through the door, I probably wouldn't have said Raheem Sterling. I would have thought he was coming to Chelsea, but I wouldn't have thought he would be the first. And I would have actually thought a centre-back would have been one of the first players through the door. But we move on from that. Let's get into things anyway, because there's quite a lot that we need to go through today. And we're going to start off with the news in and around some players at Chelsea. Still contracts up in the air as well. Let me just bring this down as well. Fabrizio Romano has confirmed. Barcelona have confirmed to Cesar Azpilicueta that plans to sign him in the next weeks. but Chelsea are still asking for a fee. Negotiations are needed. There's nothing advanced between Chelsea and Serginho Dest as things stand. Now, I'm going to be honest, I never really thought that there was any real big links between Chelsea and Serginho Dest. We all know that Todd Boehly flew to Barcelona to have that meet with the chairmen of Barcelona as well. What that conversation was yet to be seen. All we do know is that they were set up to talk about Azpilicueta and Marcos Alonso, two players that are looking to force themselves out of Chelsea this, for this summer period as well. And in between that, I still feel that, Todd Boehly went down in not just for them two, because let's be serious, I feel he could pick up the phone, he could, discuss this over a FaceTime chat. I think he's gone there with the ideas of maybe testing out the waters on certain players. And we already know quite well that Frankie de Jong is one of them players that has been sort of linked to our football club as well. Not much come from it yet, should we say? Not much has still come from it yet. But it still feels like Cesar Azpilicueta's in a position where he probably does want to move on. But then when he looks at Chelsea at the moment and he looks at probably what's going on in behind the scenes and players linked and whatever, maybe he feels that, or Tuchel feels and Todd Boehly feels that maybe that he would kind of afford to allow him to go this season. This is going to be the interesting thing, because now we've got Raheem Sterling in. You would think that Chelsea would start looking for defenders. Now, even bringing in Akin Bempe, a De Ligt, a Koulibaly, a Nathan Ake, a Koundé, for example, their players are needed because we need to replace the Christensen's and the Rudigers. But for me, what we got to stand out with is the squad depth. The squad depth is the thing that stands out for me. And Cesar Azpilicueta brings squad depth. I know a lot of people feel that he's on a little bit of a decline. When you look at his performances last season, I would feel that he just didn't look as sharp, even in his comfortable position, in this, playing in his strongest position. He still didn't look. No, it didn't look like the Azpilicueta that we've known or we've been used to have seen over the last couple of years as well. So maybe Chelsea will think twice about selling him as of yet. On top of that, they obviously want this fee from Barcelona. We know Barcelona are struggling as it is to try and get players over line. The Raphinhas, the Lewandowskis. They've just announced Kessie and Christensen as well. There's talks about they might be trying to get rid of de Jong to try and boost up some funds as well. So there's a lot of things that Barcelona seems to have their fingers in, but there's not much. We're not getting much answer for it, if that makes sense. So I think with the Azpilicueta thing, I think it all falls down to how much business can Chelsea get done in that position and how quick, and who have they got coming in? Because we know Chalobah's there, we know Malang Sarr there, even though some of us don't really want Malang Sarr to be one of them options. But it does beg the question: does Tuchel look at him and go, well, he's not going to play many games as he did last season, but at the same time, even if we replace that position, we're still going to need rotation. And Azpilicueta is one of them players that will bring the rotation. So as long as Azpilicueta can accept that maybe he's not going to play as many games as he did last season and take bench, maybe Chelsea are looking at that as an option. But at the same time, if he wants to leave and he's made it very clear that he wants to move on, then maybe Chelsea will be in a position to have to be forced again to have to replace him. I still feel that we might look at three centre-backs. Three centre-backs could be an option for us later down the line. But we'll have to wait and see, really, ultimately. Big up to Erin in the house. Ake, Koundé, Koulibaly, thoughts. We're going to be talking about them in a bit as well. Relief, we signed a player. It is a player, but it's not enough. And we're going to talk a bit about that a bit later on. Happy to see you in Chelsea, bro. You're talking about Sterling. Yes, bro. Yes. Why can't we go for Matthias Nunes? Well, you heard what Ben Jacobs said on the last time round when he came on. He just said that there's no real negotiations, talks between with the agent and Chelsea, and apparently he's not even got the same agent as we thought, which was George Mendes, which he isn't. Completely someone different. Apparently, George Mendes is linked with the agent that's Nunes's agent or whatever. Nunes's agent, apparently, but we'll see. Sarri is not Chelsea standard. Facts, I agree, but the thing is, Andy, we're in such a position where we need A, B, C, and D. Players have forced themselves out the door. And to try and replace what we have and strengthen it at the same time, all in one window, may be an issue for us to do at the moment. So even though we might be stuck with a Malang Sarr, or Aspilicueta stays for another season, or Emerson doesn't go away and Chelsea keep him as backup to Ben Chilwell, it's probably because we in many ways probably use them as a stopgap, but it doesn't bring us any closer to challenging for a title. And it doesn't matter how much we strengthen this current 11 that we have. If we don't get the right squad depth, if we don't have players to back up them positions, as soon as we have that injury, that quality in that position drops. And that is my biggest worry, and has been my biggest worry for a long time. People on GNA TV have known me long enough and how I feel. And you guys on Chelsea Fan TV, you know, I've done a couple of shows now where I've also mentioned the same thing. So be interested to see. Martin, big up to you. Big up, Jem. Good to see you still around the YouTube scene. Yeah, I'm always around, mate. It's been, I haven't been doing it day after day after day because I don't want to bore you to death with the same news. But what I try and do at the moment is sort of just give you every couple of days, some news as of where we stand at the moment. Guys, there's over 305 of you guys here. Let's get these likes up, though. We've only got 36 likes on the GNA TV. We should be over 50 likes, guys. Come on. If you haven't hit the like button, please hit the like button on the GNA TV side as well. We've got 219 people on the Chelsea Fan TV side. Nice to see every single one of you guys here as well. There's only 70 likes there with 200 of you there. So, guys, try and get both these channels over 100 likes, please, as soon as we can, if we can. And yeah, so there we go. There's the news all around in and around Ake as we stand at the moment. That one game Sarr played is enough to know he isn't good enough. Yeah, we all know that. We all know that. Katie Rose says, I think this midfield three of Kante, Jorginho, Kovacic has to change. Way too defensive and puts too much pressure on the wingers. Jorginho needs to be dropped until he finds his form. So does Kante. You're right. You are right. Ultimately, we just don't have the right profile midfielder, and they all suffer from injuries. And when you talk about Kante and him not being the same player and how many injuries he's had over a certain period of time, and you look at Kovacic as well, you're right. Strength in depth is important. It is very, very, very important. I don't think so, Enjo, unfortunately, mate. I don't think that's going to happen. Big up to Jose in the house as well, mate. Nice to see you. I hope you're well. Sterling, Raphinha, Ake, Koulibaly, Koundé, maybe. Yeah, look. What I'm saying is, it's not that I don't feel that Chelsea can sign 5 or 6 players. I think they can. But then what people forget is them 5 and 6 players that we are bringing into this football club are 5 or 6 players that are just covering positions that we've been forced to get rid of, i.e. our first 11. So, all right, Christensen ain't entirely our first 11, but still he was in and out of games until he got belly aches and he had cramps and whatever and bottled it. Rudiger was one of our main 11s. Ziyech leaves, Werner leaves, or Lukaku's already gone. These are players that ultimately we have to replace to strengthen the first 11 as well. So, yeah, is it official? Well, it's official. We'll get to Sterling in a bit, but it's official in terms of Sterling being personal terms agreed. Clubs have agreed the initial fee as well now as well. We're going to get into Sterling a bit later. I don't want to talk too much about it yet. We're going to get to that. CFC, Matty K, big up Tuesdays, big up Jim and the community. Anybody else hungover like me? Everyone that I spoke to today is hungover. I don't. Big up to Chelsea Database. Nice to see you, mate. If you ain't followed him, go and follow him on Twitter as well. I don't the idea of buying Ake, not for his ability. And you know what? It's a good place to start because you mentioned Nathan Ake, and he is literally he is the next person that we're going to fly into next. So we've got this news in and around today from Fabrizio Romano and Nathan Ake, and it seems to be that Chelsea's still negotiating for this player. He's come out saying Chelsea and Man City will be in contact again in the coming days to negotiate Nathan Ake deal after Sterling. Man City have been clear with Chelsea. They want almost the same fee paid in August 2020, around 41 million sterling. Ake's reached a full agreement with Chelsea on personal terms. Now, how many times this season or this summer window have we heard that personal terms have been agreed with an individual player? Personal terms don't necessarily seem to be the issue. Jules Koundé, for example, agreed personal terms with Chelsea. All right, Raheem Sterling recently, before the club agreed fees, had agreed personal terms with Chelsea. The personal terms side of things is not the hardest because if a player wants to leave and his ultimate destination is somewhere else, providing that you get the salary bang on, it's quite easy to turn around. The issue comes when it's the football clubs negotiating for fees, for add-ons, etc., etc. Now, Man City originally told Chelsea that they were willing to let him go for around 50 million sterling. We were then told that it was 35 million plus add-ons, and now Fabrizio Romano's come out now saying that Nathan Ake is in and around 41 million. Now, that 41 million could be plus add-ons, could be including add-ons. We have to wait and see. But ultimately, I'm going to put a little quick question in the G because I can't do it in the Chelsea fan TV. I'm going to do a quick poll. I really want to know this question. Nathan Ake to Chelsea. Now, Chelsea fan TV, look, I can't put this poll into your side of things. I can do it on the GNA TV side. So if you want to flow over to the GNA TV and quickly vote on that poll, please do so. Nathan Ake to Chelsea, yes or no? I want to know what people's thoughts are overall on this one. Make sure you go and do that over there. It's a weird one because if you ask me about Nathan Ake, it's not that I think he's a bad player. I kind of do understand why we're looking at him. I kind of get it a little bit from the Tuchel side of things in terms of system, how he would fit, whatever. What I can't rack my brain around with Nathan Ake is that, put him aside, you've got Jules Koundé in the market, you've got Kimpembe in the market, you've got Koulibaly in the market. You know, you were linked to Guvardao from Leipzig, yeah? De Ligt, yeah? These are ultimately players of top quality across Europe. And you're looking at a player that was struggling to get into the Man City team, who played pretty much not second fiddle, but third and fourth fiddle in the Man City team. And these lot are asking for nearly 40 to 50 million for him. There's us sitting there selling Hakim Ziyech, who's probably played more games than Nathan Ake this season, for like 20 to 25 million euros. Make sense of it. Like, they're overpricing him. And the issue is, and I feel that with Chelsea, it always happens with us. We go into the market, we look for a player, and ultimately, we try to get conned. Or teams look at it and go, well, they've got money, they've got a new owner who's got, like, he wants to spend the money. Let's just put what we want on it. And what we want on it is more than what we got him originally, because they paid more for Nathan Ake. They paid more for Nathan Ake than what they're asking for anyway. Sorry, they didn't pay more than what they were for Nathan Ake. So he was about 35, 40 million. They wanted like nearly 50 million for this guy, and it just makes no sense. Now, from a footballing standpoint, yeah, versatility, I agree. Good with the ball on his feet, moves the ball forward, quick with the 1-2s, progressive, cool, can defend. But he isn't a Rudiger replacement. And I know some Chelsea fans feel that he is and it can work and, whatever. But for me as a Chelsea fan, and this is just my opinion about it, you don't go and get rid of Rudiger or allow him to go on a free and then just replace him with a third and fourth fiddle player in the Premier League just because he's Premier League proven. I would rather throw the Premier League proven bit aside and bring in players that have got ultimately experience in the Champions League, have the quality as well, and are played and have played a lot of football for the teams that they're playing for. De Ligt plays for Juventus, plays a lot of football, Champions League, Italian League. Jules Koundé played a lot of European football, plays first team. He's in the first team for Sevilla, plays in the La Liga, etc., etc. Kimpembe is, an experienced PSG defender, has played a lot of football over there as well. And what racks my brain even more about it is that some of these are cheaper than him. Kimpembe pays 40 million euros at the moment. Euros. That's nearly pushing it close to 30 million sterling off the top of my head. Koulibaly is 40 to 45 million euros. He's cheaper than Nathan Ake. All right, he's 31 years old and he's probably a short-term solution, but you'll still probably get a good 3 years out of him at the top end, quality, experience, and fits the Tuchel system. Jules Koundé, do I really need to explain to you? You know what I think of Jules Koundé? Young. Okay, he's not as experienced, but ultimately, he's the top prospect. And across Europe, he's one of the hot takes at the moment. And we don't get him. One of the other big European clubs will. and he fits the Tuchel system to a T. This player is versatile. You know, he's versatile, but I'm just not too sure where we go with him. Like, is he good enough to allow us to challenge for titles at a later stage? That's the real big question for me with Nathan Ake. I'm just not sold on him, you know. Apparently City are going to buy Guvardale to replace Ake if we buy him. And that, you know, Guvardale was 50 million. Was he 50 million sterling? I think he might have been. You know, so again, look how close the fee is for this player to some of the players that we were linked to that we didn't bother going for. Well, look, again, I don't mind Ake coming to Chelsea, providing he's just not the main centre-back. Like, if you said to me, Jules Koundé, Koulibaly or Kimpembe's coming in, and we brought Nathan Ake in for rotation, I'd be like, cool, yeah, no problem. Makes sense. I understand it. Guys, currently we've got over 250 on GNA TV. Let's get this over 100 likes, guys. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe as well. We've got Sterling to talk to. We're going to go into Raphinha next. We've also got Dembele news as well. What is going on with Dembele? Well, we've got some news coming in today on that as well. But we need to get this over 100 likes. 62 likes on GNA TV. Get this over that. On the Chelsea Fan TV side, 280 of views there. 118 likes, guys. The aim for views is to get over 100, up to 200 likes as well. On the Chelsea Fan TV, we did have a quick poll on there saying happy Sterling joined. 91% said yes to 9% that said no. And then the GNA TV side, the question was asked, Nathan Ake to Chelsea. 113 votes, 63% have said yes, and 37% of users said no. So ultimately, you guys are obviously not sharing the same opinion as me in the chat. So I'd like to kind of learn. Let's go through the chat, see what you guys are saying before we move on to Raphinha and etc. etc. What about De Ligt? The De Ligt thing's an interesting one because we know Bayern Munich are interested. We know Bayern Munich have laid some funds down. It's down to Chelsea to match that or beat that. Something that I don't think we've done yet, but could happen. The issue goes with De Ligt, and this might be the only issue, big issue, is that he's pushing nearly 100 to 120 million euros. And as a rule, I don't think we want to spend that kind of money. So if that's what Bayern Munich are pushing to do, I'm not too sure we're going to do that. I think we might look elsewhere. And it's not that we don't want him. I think we are trying to be smart. And I'm hoping that we are trying to be smart in the window because we need to utilize the budget that Bowley's got. You know, I want to see numbers. I want to see numbers through the door of good quality. Let me ask you this. For left centre back, would you rather sign Akia? Well, it's an easy one for me, Aaron. Kimpembe. Do you know what the bad thing is? I don't even rate Kimpembe that high. I actually think he's got a mistake in him. I've watched a little bit of him at PSG, but ultimately he has experience. You know, he has the experience. Some people are telling me to look at the Ornstein comment. I will do that in a second. I will open up the lines as well, guys. I want to get you involved today as well. I want to hear what you guys have got to say recently. Let me just try and find Ornstein's Twitter quickly. All right, so apparently Raheem Sterling. All right, we've got a bit of Raheem Sterling news. Is that what the Ornstein news is? 2 seconds, guys. Sorry, this is the problem when you're you're the host of a show and you're trying to bring up Chelsea. No, there's nothing there on Ornstein. Don't see anything. I do not see anything on Ornstein. However, Raheem Sterling, interesting news has just broke on him as well, which we're going to get to in a second. But yeah, ultimately, just stay on track at the moment. It's a bit of a weird one for me. I just don't see why Ake would be first choice. Chelsea lost its pulling power 100. Well, again, Grizzly, it just falls down to waiting to the end of this summer window and seeing the type of players we bring in. I think it's too early again. Say big up to Seppers in the house. Art Media Culture, bro. Who cares? Trust what the future of Chelsea is. I don't know who you're talking to there. If you're talking to someone in the chat. I'm starting to accept Ake will be coming here, is what Seppers is saying. If we sign 3 centre-backs, which is reported, I don't see why you're moaning because he'll be cover on that side. Well, that's just ultimately what I've said. I mean, if you're talking to someone in the chat, if you're talking to me, then you would have heard what I just said. I just said if we're getting 3 centre-backs, and I still feel that we're getting 3 centre-backs, then I'm cool with it. But still, again, I want us to make sure that we negotiate for the right price. Because for me, if you're going to bring someone that's going to be rotation, you shouldn't be spending 50 million for him, or even 40. I actually would probably say max in the 30s. So let's see what happens. I'd rather trust Levi Colwill than buy. See, this is the thing. He's there. Obviously, we could look at him as an option. I don't know, Chelsea Database. I haven't watched enough of Levi Colwill to say too much. I've seen, bits of him and whatever, but, yeah, could he provide rotation? Yeah, potentially. But ultimately, the question lies again, doesn't it? Coming to Chelsea, who are one of the biggest teams in the Premier League, constantly in 4 competitions every season, playing at the highest order, the highest level, with the pressure that the managers have and the players have, is different. Not to say that he can't do it, but it's a big jump up from playing in the Championship to then coming here, and that's the interesting thing for me. Well, that oh, Seppers. Exactly. Falling for that, Ake is a stupid signing, is what we're saying. Ake's acquisition is so annoying and makes me angry. We don't need him. He's not world class. Well, again, it depends what we're using him for. I think that's the most. If they're telling me that he's one of the main 2 with whoever else we bring in, then I ain't too happy with it personally. I'm not happy with it personally. We just have to ride out this season with your Georgie, Cover, and Kante, and go for Rice next season. Can't be done this summer. You're right. A lot of it ultimately is going to be that we will cover as many areas as possible and do as much as we can to the level that we can, and we'll just have to kick on to next summer. But who would you prefer, Ake or Jules? Easy one for me. Jules Koundé. There ain't any that ain't even a debate for me. I'm sorry. Sterling comes for the money, he'll be all right. Anyway, let's move away from Ake news because we've still got quite a bit to go through. We're going to jump on to well, actually, stay there. Actually, let's go back to that because these are supposedly what Telefootball is saying players at Chelsea linked for. Not much news in terms of what we know, but it's thought Thomas Tuchel wants 3 new defenders, with Nathan Ake top of the list and Matthias de Ligt, Kambempe, Jules Koundé, and Koulibaly also targets. Now, if that's true, fine. I'm fine. You want to bring Ake in, fine. But does it go against the question of what Chelsea Database said in the chat, which was, do we not then give Levi Colwill a chance? Why are we spending 40, 50 million on someone that's playing third, full fiddle at Man City when you have players at your football club that could potentially be given the option? I think Tuchel needs to go through this pre-season and see. I think he generally does. If we want 3 centre-backs, get your 2 main ones and then look at what you have. And if it's a case of, well, they're just not there yet, they're not ready, and they need to go on another loan, and then that's how he feels, and then he goes for Nathan Ake, fine. Or whoever he sees as the third fiddle, shall I say. That's only, I've been saying for a very long time, I think we could potentially get 3 centre-backs. I keep saying it. And I still stand by it, that I do think it can happen. Some people feel that it will only be 2 main centre-backs, but I don't know. I think Azpilicueta and Marcos Alonso will probably leave as well. So we'll have to see what happens moving on from this. Guys, nearly 600 of yous here combined. Big up to every single one of you guys at the moment. 290, nearly over 300 of you guys on the GNA TV side, guys. Let's get this over 100 likes, though, please. To try and catch up the Chelsea Fan TV lot, because they've got over 140 likes at the moment. They've got 300 and over 300 as well. So near enough the same viewers on both sides. So let's try and get these up. Please subscribe on both as well, GNA TV and Chelsea Fan TV, please, as well. Right, let's move on, shall we? Let's move on to, what's this one? Oh, I don't want that one. Got so many tabs open. Let's move on to Raphinha, because this morning we had a little bit of news in and around Raphinha. Not this one. I didn't want this one. Not yet. We'll come back to that one. This is the one I was going to. No, not this one. I've done it again. Come on, man. Give me the one I want. There we go. There we go. Yeah. So, Fabrizio Romano via Rashad Rahman has come out saying that Barcelona have improved their bid for Raphinha, but Leeds United are holding out There is only a full agreement with Chelsea for now. Basically, and it's been the same case since Chelsea put the offer forward to Leeds. They want to do business with Chelsea. They feel that Barcelona are playing them around. And ultimately, I don't really get how Deco and Raphinha are not feeling a little bit stressed right now. You know what you need to do? Leeds have already made it very clear to you, broker owner. Put your money down or put your money where your mouth is. You do that, you get your player. Ultimately, they're matching it, we're being told, but they're not really matching it on the overall package. So it could be that because Chelsea are offering a lot of the cash up front, Barcelona are not going to be able to do that. It could be that Chelsea are actually offering more cash but less add-ons, or they're offering lesser cash, Barcelona, and offering more add-ons at a later stage. So that's a way of obviously bringing down the overall cost of the player to then do it over add-ons. But then add-ons is based on players achieving things, doing things, etc., etc. So ultimately, Barcelona, or should we call them Brokerlona, are still doing what they always do, which is, or have been doing something, which is just muck around. And it's becoming frustrating. And I'm surprised that Chelsea themselves and Todd Bowley have allowed it to drag out this long. And maybe the fact that they're allowing to drag out so long is because they probably know that Barcelona can't compete. Eventually, Raphinha will be forced into a corner. Leeds United have made it very clear that Raphinha's, they don't really want him to be there. Raphinha's pretty much got his mindset on elsewhere. But what people need to understand with the Raphinha thing is that even though Barcelona is his dream move, he hasn't once said that he doesn't want to play for Chelsea. Actually, and ultimately, he's made it very clear, or from what we've been told, that he would come to Chelsea. And if Barcelona didn't come and knocking on the door, he was quite comfortable in coming over and playing. And he liked the ideas of Tuchel and the project and the plans that were in place at Chelsea. So ultimately, this just falls down to Deco trying to see if Barcelona are going to match it. Barcelona obviously told Deco that they will do their best or they will. That's why they're hanging around and waiting for him. They're not doing that, and it's becoming a bit of a frustrating moment. We're on the Raphinha update now, Thailand. That's what we're doing. I'm still fully invested into Raphinha and hoping we sign him, is what Erin is saying as well. Dembele will sign a contract and Barca approve us of now, pushing Raphinha further towards what we've got there. Justin, Raphinha will join Chelsea in coming hours if Barcelona offer doesn't match Leeds' demands, is what Mason Gaming saying. That is via ESPN FC. To be honest, I don't try and read too much into like other tiers. Especially when I'm on with you guys, I try and stick with the main tiers. If this picks up and we get a Fabrizio and Matt Law, Simon Phillips, etc., obviously we'll share it. But ESPN FC may be right, but we're waiting to see. Chelsea are just waiting for one of these players. And ultimately, when you talk about one of these players, and we're going to get into Dembele because it's sort of linked into the Raphinha topics, which we're talking about at the moment. Typical, innit? I've got a fly in there. Get out of here, bro. Flies. Raphinha's agent Deco will turn to Chelsea FC next week. If no progress is made from Barcelona, Leeds United continue to stress they would rather sell to Chelsea, and Barcelona have been frustrating to negotiate with. And that was from Ben Jacobs. As you know, Ben Jacobs has been on the channel with us, Ed, recently. Hopefully we'll have him back next week as well. That makes sense. And eventually, I was sitting there waiting for this moment where Deco and Raphinha are just like, do you know what? It's not happening. You know, they're not going to accept it, and we're not going to get what we want. And you're going to be stuck at Leeds, and you're going to be waiting for them till they get money. That could be 1 season, 2 seasons, 3 seasons later. They may get to a point where they turn around and say, well, we don't need you, Raphinha. You were our target last year, but we don't need you. Do you really want to risk taking away the contract that Chelsea's offered you, which is double the wages, which is what we've given double wages? Leeds getting ultimately the full value of money for the player. Todd Bowley not mucking around, making it very clear that this is what we're doing and this is why we want you. And we're actually just investing we're showing full trust into this player. We're showing him that he is going to be a key figure. By offering that money, it tells me that Tuchel has made it clear to Todd Bowley that he's an important player. We've already got Raheem Sterling in. We do need another forward. Make it happen. Ultimately, let's make it happen. So there we go. Pressure is coming from Leeds now. We obviously know that they put a deadline in themselves for the player as well. We're going to jump on to the Ben Jacobs tweets as well, because it kind of links to the whole Raphinha thing as we go into it still. Obviously, the latest on Dembele is that Xavi has made it clear to the board again that he wants Dembele to resign. Now, we've been reading in recent times that Raphinha and Dembele are not possible for Barcelona. Some people saying, well, they are. They can get both. Some other tiers are saying, well, no, it's not. It's either or. I do feel that it is still the case. I really do. But Barcelona are leaving Dembele hanging for a now, even with the paperwork ready, offer still his only formal proposal on the table. And it goes on to say this: Chelsea have not made a counter offer since Dembele is a free agent. Late interest from Milan also untrue. Moussa Sissoko's meeting with Inter was only about Dortmund defender Daniel blah blah blah. PSG and Liverpool have also distanced themselves with Dembele, with Liverpool denying any interest. But then it goes on to say the expectation due to it now being a financially viable package is the Barca board will approve the Dembele deal. It still remains to be seen whether Barcelona will then pursue and kind of afford, which is what we're saying here, Raphinha. So no agreement with Leeds. Deco will turn to Chelsea next week if no progress. I think we're coming to the end of the road when it comes to the Raphinha and Dembele saga. I feel you've got Leeds on one hand that want their money from Chelsea, that have agreed to Chelsea. To be honest, Leeds have shown quite a lot of loyalty to Chelsea. They've just said, look, we want to work with Chelsea here. You know, unless you're going to match them, we're not really going to show an eye to it. And they haven't. They've really, in theory, just wasted a week or just over a week of Leeds' time by offering stupid rates or stupid packages that ultimately Leeds doesn't suit Leeds. You know, Dembele's being left half strung and on the side, waiting for answers from Barcelona, etc., etc. It's getting to the point now where they're getting forced into a corner, and Dembele and Raphinha and Deco now looking at Chelsea or turning to Chelsea next week tells me that they can clearly see that Barcelona are just not, or if not in a position to afford Raphinha, or maybe they just don't look at Raphinha being one of them players that is worth the money that Chelsea are paying for. Maybe. Barcelona always maintained they want both players. Also still speaking with confidence on signing Raphinha. But Leeds' perspective is very different. Sources continue to stress club would rather sell to Chelsea and that Barcelona have been frustrating to negotiate, which we just obviously reviewed earlier. So, same bullshit, if you want my honest opinion, guys. Same bullshit from the whole saga. We haven't moved an inch forward. We haven't moved 2 inches forward. We're not even moved 3 inches forward. We have sat in the same goddamn position as when Chelsea formally put that offer forward to this guy. And why? Because ultimately Barcelona just can't match Chelsea's package. Or they're unwilling to match Chelsea's package because they want to get him cheaper because they know that Raphinha wants to play for them. And they feel that Raphinha can force Leeds to accept a lower offer, which Leeds are just saying, nah, why should we? Raphinha's already quite happy to play for Chelsea. So ultimately, next week, I feel we will get an answer. We should be getting an answer. And the answer will be either Dembele signs to Barcelona, Barcelona pull out of the Raphinha saga, Deco and Raphinha in talks with Chelsea to sign the personal terms that were put forward. That's what I'm ultimately thinking is going to happen. Or we could be shocked. And they signed Dembele and they matched the Chelsea offer fully and Leeds accept it. But if they were going to do that, wouldn't they done that a week and a half ago? Why are they going back and forwards with stupid prices and packages that just don't match what we want? Oh, sorry, or what Leeds want, sorry. Why are they doing that? Because that tells me that they're just scraping their pockets. They're scraping the drawers. They're trying to pull out the pennies. They still got to try and buy Lewandowski, who Bayern Munich want for 50 million. They just literally ain't got the money. From what I've read up to this point, they just can't do it. So stop wasting people's time. You're not on Chelsea's level in terms of money right now. We have money to spend. Let's just move forward. CFC Daily is what people are telling me. What is CFC Daily saying? Let's have a look. CFC Daily. Guys, over 700 of you here. Big up to every single one of you guys in the chat at the moment. Yeah, that's just a travelling squad. There's not much from CFC Daily. Guys, do not tell me if there's things from certain things and there's nothing there. Come on. Dembele thinks he may stay at Barca on the pay cut. Yep. To be honest, I'd say yes to any centre-backs at the moment. Is what Sam's saying. Big up to Sam. I believe Chelsea will be great. That's what Jeff's saying. What else have we got here? All talk. This feels like it. Raphinha and Deco are wasting our time. Could have already signed Koulibaly, Koundé at this point. I agree. But ultimately, it falls down to, again, what is Thomas Tuchel's main priorities? Now, if his main priorities is De Ligt and Raphinha, and why Chelsea have not offered anything to Dembele because they feel confident they're going to get Raphinha, it kind of makes sense. I would have just pulled the plug. I'd have been like, look, we want you, but if you're going to muck us around, we're just going to move because we ain't got time. But obviously they just feel that, but they must just feel that they're in a good position because of their discussions with Leeds. Leeds obviously want to work with Chelsea from what we've been told. So Barca this window has been like a Habbo walking into Selfridges. Blessings, Jem. Big up to Honourable Dixon. Nice to see you, man. Nice to see you. We're going to talk Raheem Sterling next, guys. Raheem Sterling next. And then we're going to open up the lines and get you guys involved. Over 700 of you guys here. Let's get these likes up to 200 on both channels, please. Only 113 likes on the GNA TV side. But nearly 400 of you guys here. So let's get this over 150 likes, guys. Hit that little thumb. Hit the little bell as well, because I'll let you guys know when I'm live as well. There's going to be a lot more break-ins to go through. I do expect more players to come through the door. We're going to be airing them both on GNA TV side and the Chelsea Fan TV side. Chelsea Fan TV, over 335 of you guys here. Nice to see you all. You only got 186 likes, though. So you need to, if you haven't hit the like, please do that. Get this over 200 likes as well. We will be opening up them lines shortly for you guys. Barca agreed terms with him when it looked like his 25 million clause could be activated. They did, but ultimately Chelsea came back and just offered more. Connor will play for sure. We're talking about Gallagher. All right, we're not talking about him yet. If Raphinha Barca over Chelsea, if Raphinha Barca over Chelsea, then we should withdraw the. Well, that's what I said. But obviously Chelsea must feel quite confident in the player and feel that the player is going to play for us. Big up to QNTV Kazim. Make sure you go and check him out on QNTV on YouTube as well. Look at Absolute Chelsea's new post. Guys, better be interesting. This better be interesting. Says Aspilicueta already has an offer from Chelsea, but hopes. All right, okay. So basically, and we'll is it? Okay, cool. I don't know who Ruben Noria is. Never heard of this guy. I don't know who he is. But ultimately, we'll quickly share it because it is a little bit of news. So the Cesar Aspilicueta situation, which we was obviously reviewing earlier on, just a couple of little bits of topics here. 3 minutes ago, Chelsea new owners understand that it would be difficult to find a high-level replacement for Cesar Aspilicueta in terms of his performance, injury, record, and leadership. What did I say to you guys earlier on in the show? In fact, the first thing I said to you guys on the show was that I think Chelsea feel that they can still utilise him for whatever reasons, as if it's just backup and he's happy to just play less games. Maybe they feel that he needs to be kept. Aspie's already has an offer from Chelsea, but hopes that Barcelona will make progress. So still feels that he wants to go Barcelona, but there is an option to stay at Chelsea. Barcelona boss Xavi prioritises this summer are to sign Cesar Aspilicueta, Robert Lewandowski, and renew Ousmane Dembele's contract. So there's no talks about Raphinha in that comment from there. That's from Ruben Noria. Not a small account as well. Nearly 160k followers over there. So he seems to think that Aspie still wants Barca. Chelsea have offered a contract for him, but at the same time, they see the qualities in him and potentially ultimately might want to still keep him. So let's see what happens at a later stage with Aspilicueta moving forward. We've read that already. Let's get on to Raheem Sterling, guys. Yeah, let's do that. Come on. I know. Let's start talking about that. Did we get a super chat in from Ryan? All right, Ryan, big up to you. He says, mate, look at Absolute Chelsea's new news. Just looked at it, mate. Thank you very much for highlighting that as well. Over 640 of you here combined. Nice to see every single one of you here. We'll open up the lines as well. I want to get your thoughts on all the topics today's as well. But we're going to start getting into Raheem Sterling, because Raheem Sterling is the talk of the town, isn't he, at the moment? The first player that Chelsea have brought through the door. Yet Pies is pretty much highlighting the same comments that we've come back that I was talking about as well. Let's get into the Raheem Sterling stuff. Sterling is a fucking robbery, is what McLovin is saying as well. I'm assuming he's a Man City fan. Here it is. Yesterday, we got that comment. Here we go. Here we go that many Chelsea fans were waiting for. Raheem Sterling to Chelsea. Here we go. Final approval arrived from Man City. 45 million fee plus 10 million add-ons. Personal terms agreed days ago. It was never an issue. It's done. Contract until 2027 plus option for further year. Tuchel already had direct conversations with him. And let's be serious. It's one of them signings that ultimately was going to happen, wasn't it? It was going to happen. Yeah, just reading something else that CFC Stephen tagged me in. Thank you, mate. Yeah, the same news as what I just said in regards to Dembele. Apparently, Dembele is on the verge of finalising a new 2-year contract at Barcelona, a deal which is likely to put Raphinha's dream move to the new camp on hold. And if it is put on hold even longer, I can only see this going one way. I think Chelsea will get him at this rate. But who knows? Things can change. Back to Raheem Sterling. He is Chelsea's first player. Obviously, he won't be wearing that kit. Medical is something that is going to happen today, this afternoon. Could be right now. Who knows? Simon Phillips commented with this comment. Raheem Sterling medical this afternoon in London, according to Sky Sports. So Raheem Sterling could be announced as a Chelsea player today. He will then fly supposedly out to Vegas to meet the players for the US tour as well. And ultimately, it's a signing. It's a good signing. It is a good signing. I think Chelsea, 47.5 million, not bad. Don't get me wrong. I did say anything in the 40s would be good. It seems like it may be a bit more with add-ons, but add-ons depends on how well he achieves at Chelsea. So 47.5 million is where we're at for Mr. Raheem Sterling as well. He will be, and Matt Law commented right here, he will be, where's he gone? No, not this one. Not this one, my friend. Not this one. There we go. So hard to get these up. So we go back to Fabrizio Romano. So Fabrizio Romano's already made it clear. The medical's already scheduled for Raheem Sterling in London in order to complete. He's moved to Chelsea on a permanent deal. Sterling signs with Chelsea until June 27 with a further option with a blur contract style. All right, so we've already been through this same one. I thought it was something else. All right, cool. So the last little tweet we've got on Raheem Sterling before we start talking about the player, how does he fit in, etc. We're going to be going through a formation layout as well. Raheem Sterling will become one of the top 3 earners in the Premier League when he signs for Chelsea. So what do we know about Raheem Sterling? 5-year contract to 2027, around 300k wages. So ultimately, whatever he got paid at City, he is going to get paid at Chelsea. He'll be one of the highest earners at the football club. What are your thoughts, guys, on that deal as well? I think I'll put a quick little poll out for that one as well as close the Ake one. Sterling to, why does it do this? Sterling, Chelsea, 47.5 mil. Happy? Are you happy? Let's see. Let's see if people are happy. So a poll's been put out on the GNA TV side. Oh, God, I haven't done it properly. There we go. So there we go. There's a poll out for you guys on the GNA TV side. 350 you guys. It's Sterling to Chelsea for 47.5 million. Are you happy? Are you happy with that negotiation from Chelsea? Yes, ultimately he'll be one of the highest paid players. But how does he fit into Chelsea? How did Chelsea now utilize Raheem Sterling? Quickly go through some of your comments before we get into that. 45 million plus 10 million add-ons. A good deal with City fan, considering he's off form and has 1 year left, is what Michael says. He's a good signing, but I still think he has weaknesses he has to work on. Fair enough, I hear that. Chelsea to joke right now we are buying second-hand players. So Amar's not happy with that one. What else have we got here? Man City might put a UCL winner clause on Sterling. Could be one of the add-ons. Who knows? Can't wait to use the Ake money to get Gravadal. Don't say this to me, please. Don't get why people are happy. We need 2, maybe 3 defenders and increase our midfield and a number 9. Stefan, why people are happy is that I think as Chelsea fans, we just wanted to see one player through the door. It felt like it was being heavily dragged out, and ultimately, it's just feels good to have a player. You're right in terms of other players, and we're going to get into that. We do need other players. Other players are required. Does Raheem Sterling answer Chelsea's problems? Just him on his own? No. Is he a very good player to bring in experience, leadership qualities, trophy? You know, how many trophies he's won as well. His goals assists are over 30 in his last 2 to 3 seasons. So a lot of goal assists. He contributes well. He scores some goals, important goals as well. Of course he does. Everything leads to a very decent player. A player that's, again, Premier League proven. But it's not the icing on the cake. And Stefan's right in that instance. It's good that we got it over the line because he's the type of player that makes sense in this system. The versatility to his game, being able to allow Tuchel to switch systems because he will be able to allow that. Being able to play in different systems as well. Raheem Sterling is a player that I feel could really thrive under Thomas Tuchel. But to get the best out of him, we do need other individuals. When you look at the current crop of players that we have in the forward line, there are just certain players, and you look at the forward line at the moment, I don't think it's enough. There's not enough for me. Yes, he works hard, movement, etc. But ultimately, it lies that we still lack the creativity spark. Where are we getting the creativity from? Who's going to create chances? And that's why Raphinha, if we get Raphinha done, so Raphinha would be huge for me. Because Raphinha, Sterling, Havertz, yeah, it may force us to switch systems, ultimately. But you have that missing sort of key for me in elements of being able to create. Chelsea wouldn't buy any player to quote buying that club's reject or second-hand players. Wouldn't buying any player be quote buying that club reject. Jem, wouldn't buying any player be quote buying that club's reject or something? I don't get what you mean, Lee. What do you mean? Unless you've read that wrong. 2 seasons we will lose probably 6 centre backs. We will use 3 centre back system and we prioritise forwards, is what Sam says. No, Sterling doesn't solve all the problems up front. He doesn't. He generally doesn't. I agree. We are an impatient fan base. We always want everything straight away. We don't have Roman anymore. Be patient is what Daniel's saying. I hear that. Sterling's a top player is what Kazim's saying as well. I agree. Nearly 700 of you guys here, though. Smash the likes, guys. Let's get this up to 200 likes on both GNA TV and Chelsea Fan. Oh, Chelsea Fan TV are over that now. They're on 211 likes. So come on, GNA TV fans. There's nearly 400 of you here. Let's get this over 200 likes, man. We're not even nowhere near it yet. Smash the like button. Smash that like button. This is why I want Frank de Jong in our midfield for creativity and signing. And listen, bringing in Raphinha is a creativity spark, but having another player that creates through midfield is ultimately as important as well. Defensively, progressively, and creating. To have players in and around that can create in different positions is important. We know that Reece James and Ben Chilwell will do it well. And this goes into my next thing before we open up the lines. Squad builder. How do we utilise Raheem Sterling? Well, here he is at the moment. Zoom in a bit more because we don't need to see Mendy. We know Mendy is going to start. What's going on here? There we go. We stick to the 3. And this just to throw it hypothetically out there. We don't get Raphinha. Dembele doesn't come. We bring Sterling in. We keep Pulisic. Werner stays. Ziyech goes. We then give Conor Gallagher a chance on whatever else. How do we utilise Raheem Sterling? Now, we've already been told that Tuchel likes the idea or would like the idea of Sterling to play off the left. Obviously, Tuchel and Sterling have had these conversations prior for him making the decision to come to Chelsea. A lot of it is that he will play off this position. Now, Chilwell Sterling is quite tasty, I feel. The link, the chemistry, the understanding. Chilwell, we know, will get forward. He will get in the box. He will do this. He'll do that. Ultimately, putting Sterling in that position with his speed and his directiveness, is only going to thrive for Chilwell, create more space for Chilwell, and allow us to be more effective down the wing. Chilwell can create. Sterling can run in behind. He has the speed. Probably be our quickest player up front, to be honest. He can score, and ultimately he can assist. And someone like Kai Havertz, who could potentially be leading the line next season, will then have a player next to him who will do a lot of this. The issue you have, and what worries me, is if we become heavily reliant on him. Because we need to start learning how to bring the best out of these forwards. How do we get the best out of their games? What I saw last season with the forward line, just talking about the forward line specifically, I don't feel we got the best out of them consistently. We saw dabs and drabs and, moments and a little bit of consistency, a little bit of short-term consistency here and there. But we never really got the best out of the player where it just shone. And we saw it throughout a long period. And ultimately, the thing that worries me with bringing in Sterling and no one else is that he will do his thing. And you might see better chemistry, which is something we need on a forward line. But it might be the case that we become heavily reliant on him to do certain things that we don't want. He wasn't brought in to do. And I'm talking about the creative element of it. He needs with Sterling, it needs to be a balance. He can't be heavily relied upon to just do one thing. You need to be able to allow him to contribute, score goals, use his movement, drop deep, tight positions, be able to dribble out a play, because he will do that. In tight positions, he'll be able to dribble out with the ability to do so. He brings a lot, and he does actually, in theory, improve this system, I feel. But it's not enough when you don't have anything creative from here, midfield, Kovacic, Jorginho, and we know Mason Mount can do it. And I'm not saying Mason Mount can't, but I just don't feel Mason Mount is a forward. He can create for these, but just not consistently, because he's not just a creator. Mason Mount is someone that can do a bit of everything. Chilwell and Reece James will create from the wings, but we need more creativity for this. And even if you switch this into a 4-3-3, and I know a lot of people saying, yeah, but we might play a 4 at the back and it'll be a 4-3-3. You play the 4-3-3, it will probably still look the same, other than obviously these will be your thing, your backs. Whoever that would be next to Thiago Silva, I don't know. You'd probably put Jorginho in there and Kovacic, and you'd bring, I don't know, you could play Mount in there, or if not, you'd probably leave Mount there, and you throw in, this is just hypothetically, you throw in Conor Gallagher. So ultimately, there is options to still play the 4-3-3, but you're then relying on youth and low knees and whatever else. Does it solve our issues? Some people may feel that putting Gallagher as more of the further person forward could work. And you could possibly still see this, but it's still not, I'm still just not sold on it. Like, do you get what I mean? Like, I need creative players. I need a Raphinha. I need a midfielder that's progressively good moving forward, that creates for these boys so that if they run behind, they can make them runs. Ultimately, I think we still limit him. Is what I'm saying. I might be wrong. It might be that Conor Gallagher comes in, Mason Mount plays there, and his chemistry that we've been waiting for and the consistency of the chemistry is great. And Sterling's speed and movement adds to that, and we see it. But I don't know. But he can be utilised off the right. He can be utilised off the left. He can switch. He can do that. We saw the 4-3-3. If we went 4-treble-2, you could play him off as an inside there. Some people feel that he might do that. He probably could. I don't really want to see him as a false 9, but he could be someone that could play closer to Havertz and, drag defenders left and right and do his thing. He does that. But ultimately, the most important thing with this all is that he's versatile. And that's great. That is great. Don't get me wrong. It's great to have, it's great to have that versatility. And he does improve the squad. I'm not sitting here saying he doesn't. He does. But I need to see how, I need to see us bring out the best of our forward line. I need to see sustainability chemistry over a long period. And I don't think we're going to get that if we just buy him and put him in the current crop of players. You might see that him and Havertz have a great chemistry, but Mason Mount might not benefit from it, or Pulisic is not working from it. See what I mean? It's like there's always a missing link. I don't want that. I want all my front three, whoever it is, my front three or whatever formation we play with, the 4-3-3, probably be a front three. I want my front three to be fluid. I want them to be passive. I want them to be creative. I want him to be able to contribute. I want him to be able to create, because he will create. But if you throw Raphinha on that side, you switch these two, the problem comes, where does Mason Mount play? So you bring Raphinha in. What does Raphinha do? He gives you another option. He gives you versatility. He gives you the idea of being able to switch your systems. So again, could we play a 3-4-3? Yes. But it wouldn't fit Mason Mount in. It wouldn't fit Conor Gallagher in. You know, certain players would have to, unfortunately, suffer. You know, and I know some people may feel that this could happen. Maybe. You know, maybe this could happen. Where Reece James is asked to play as a right centre-back and Raphinha plays as a right wing-back. Ultimately, I don't really want to see him out there too much. I don't mind him doing a job here and there. But I want to see Raphinha here. I want to see him being direct. He's direct. He's quick. He can dribble. He does everything that Sterling does to a degree, but creates more. He is a creator. He has the eye. He's Premier League proven. And in the team of players that are ultimately of a higher quality, I think you'll get a better Raphinha. So, yes, Mason Mount may miss out. But the only way you can utilise it, and this is what's so great about it, and I think this is why Chelsea are holding out for this, is that some people feel we'll play the 4. Some people feel we can't play the 4 because we haven't got the correct DM. And I ultimately think that's right. We need someone that can be progressive and sit in this position, right? Yes, we can play the 4 at the back. But if you do that, ultimately it will look something like this at the moment, I'm just saying. Or whether it's Kante, whoever it is, you know. But Mason Mount then fits in the team because he can play off these, just behind these, and you can see him linking these two up. These can be more direct. Havertz can use his movement, and it can work. The issue you have is defensively or progressively, is it going to be good enough? I think that if we play the 4-3-3, I think you'll see that Kovacic and Jorginho will play more deeper. I think Mason Mount will play in behind like that. And then what would happen is you'd have Jorginho and Kovacic. So it'd be like that, because I can't play around with it too much. So Jorginho and Kovacic would just sit a little bit behind, with Mount a little bit more forward in the hole, sort of helping them once we haven't got the ball defensively. But offensively, he then becomes a 4. And you've got Sterling down the left, you've got Raphinha down the right, and Havertz through there. That could happen. And the reason that will happen is because ultimately I don't feel we can leave Jorginho on his own. We don't have a DM. You put Declan Rice in there, then it's a different story, because then you'd see Mount go forward, Kovacic go forward. And I think you still will see that. But I still think there'll be a lot of reservations to allow Jorginho to be on his own. And that is a weakness. And that's an issue for us in itself. So I don't know. There's a lot that we can do with this. But what I'm trying to get at is that I don't feel that Sterling alone is enough. Yeah, he approves it. He's versatile. He gives us options. True. But do we bring the best out of him? Do we have that? Are we going to see that consistency in the chemistry of the front three? We already know that Ziyech and the others, couldn't do it. Just couldn't do it. I don't really feel that, Michael. I don't think he is. He's not the greatest with the ball at his feet. He can move forward with the ball progressively. But it's what I'm talking about is releasing the ball quick enough. Frankie de Jong's very good at it, actually. He picks the ball up, looks up, plays the ball quickly. Some people may feel that defensively he's not good enough, but the versatility of the player is good. Declan Rice sits, but is progressively very good at moving the ball quickly forward. And that ultimately is the difference, We are going to open up the lines, though. I want to hear what you guys have to say. I don't need Jorginho, please sell him. Yeah, for who? For who? We only got 161 likes. Come on, guys. Let's get this up to 200 likes. Nearly 400 of you on the GNA TV side. Let's get this over 200 likes, guys. Come on. Let's get this over 200 likes on the GNA TV side. Please subscribe if you're new to the channel as well. I want your thoughts and opinions, guys. I'll just read in a comment from someone that's just tagged me in. Strictly badness. He says, so you don't need to see nothing. Sterling's an upgrade to our attack, so you don't need to see nothing. Kai and Timo have 24 league goals between them in 2 seasons. Just get behind the player like you are with Mount. What are you talking about, mate? Mate, if you're watching, some people you got to clean your ears out, didn't you? Some people just do not listen. They really just think, what are you? I did not. Jem, Sterling is an upgrade to our attack. Yes. What did I say at the beginning of the show, mate? If you're watching it right now, I just said Raheem Sterling is an improvement to the forward line. Tick. Yeah. Then you said so you don't need to see nothing. No, I do need to see more. I need to see more. Yeah. I need to see more players. Yes. Kai and Timo have 24 league goals between them in 2 seasons. Yeah, that's not great. That's not great. What do you want me to say? Yeah. Just get behind the player like you are with Mount. I'm not Mount's biggest fan, mate. I don't know who you are, mate. You obviously don't know me because some of your comments don't make sense. You haven't watched me long enough. So I don't know who you are, mate. But yeah, big up to you. Thank you for tuning in as well. There's always someone that has to be No, he's tagged me in a Twitter. He's tagged me on Twitter. If you ain't got me on Twitter, it's CFC_gem. I'll put that in here as well, actually. I've never done this before, at CFC_gem. So if you write that on Twitter, oh no, not that. Well, sorry guys, ignore that. Underscore, not line, this one. This one, CFC_gem. That's me on Twitter. Go and follow me over there as well, guys. Yeah. Big up to every single one of you. Just get the lines open. I want to talk to some of you people. We'll see what you are saying. Links in the chat as well for both the Chelsea Fan TV and GNA. I just get lost when people don't listen to what I say. You know, I've already made it very clear that we need a number of players in the team. You know, we need strength in depth. Sterling's a great signing. I'm actually happy that we got him. But it just ultimately doesn't answer the question for me. Like, we still need more, I feel. Creativity-wise, we don't have it from midfield, really. We do from our wing-backs and from our forward line. Provided we get Raphinha, yeah, it works for me. Big up to Hassan and Grey Wolf Dinner. How you doing, guys?
Big up, Javan. How you been? Really?
I'm all right, mate. How are you?
I'm all good, man. I think what that comment was trying to say is, I don't know, based on what you said about that comment, I think he's trying to say he's just fully back Sterling the way we back him out. I think that's what
I
he was
don't know,
trying to
mate.
say.
I don't know what he's
I mean, that's what it sounded like.
Yeah,
The way he
no,
was
that's what
trying
I'm
to
saying. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Tell me about Sterling
Yeah.
anyway, Hassan. Are you happy?
I got a few things to say. I think he's a top class swinger. I don't think he's one of them. He's a bit like, you know, when you categorize players, right? I know we don't like him, but you know, someone like Lukaku, where we say he is a world class, but he's in a tier below. I think that's what Sterling. I think the only question mark is for me is his clinicalness. I think he's got everything of a winger besides the final end product. He will score goals. He's a lot more clinical than our attack. It's not that hard. People complaining about his 300k wages. I mean, how many Premier Leagues has he got? And was he the main man of almost every single of them Premier Leagues? Yes, he was. I think he's got like 4 or 5. His 300k week wages are completely fine to me because we pay 500, 600k for 3 of our wingers to score 5 goals a year. If he turns around and scores 15 to 20 in all comps and at least double digits in the Premier League, it's more than you can ask for a winger. I think it's a good top quality signing. Can Tuchel elevate The only question mark is, I think it's on everyone's lip, is his conversion rate a consistent one?
Yeah, I agree, mate. I agree. This ain't gonna happen, but I know someone's just tagged me in it as well. Apparently, Chelsea and PSG are ready to join the Robert Lewandowski race, but the Polish striker has already reached the agreement. We already know this. So even though Ekram Connor said that, and he's quite a big tier, to be fair to him, I don't think that's going to happen personally, but we'll see. We'll see. Grey Wolves, what are you saying?
Oh, I just want to talk about Ake.
Go on, mate.
I'm not a fan of the player personally. Like, how are City getting their money back for a backup? Like, it makes no sense. Like, however, what I do want to say is, he's going to be coming in as a main starter. Like, Ake's not going to force a move out of City just to sit on our bench. So Tuchel waits him.
Who's your main two? Who's your main two that you wanted centre backs?
I'd have said Dembele and Koundé probably.
Fair enough. That would probably be my choice, to be honest, as well. If not Dembele and Koundé, I probably would have said either probably Koulibaly and Koundé, or even Kimpembe to a degree. But I don't know. It's a bit. No, I hear that. What's your thoughts on Sterling? Then are you happy that he's here?
Yeah, I'm happy. I do have some. I'm a bit worried that he might burn out quite quick though. Like yeah. I don't think he's gonna be good this whole 5 years. I mean, he's been playing high football since he's 17. We saw it with Fabregas. Like, Fabregas burnt out before he was 30. Like, the same thing could happen to Sterling. Like, so that is a slight worry.
No, but wasn't Fabregas quite quality when he came here as well? He was past 30 as well.
No, Fabregas left us when he was 30, didn't he?
No, it was about 32, 33. He left us.
No, he wasn't that old. He wasn't that old. And he definitely was in decline. Towards the last 2 years, Fabregas wasn't that great for us. Not the same level as when he first came.
Yeah. Do you feel that with Raheem Sterling, like obviously you saw what I was saying with the formations and that, do you not feel that we need more, or are you happy with just having Sterling on the forward line? Like, how do you feel?
Oh no, we need a creator. Yeah. Raphinha's decent. I obviously wanted Dembele more, to be honest. But you know what? I just want to stick 2 fingers up a Barcelona, to be honest. I'll be happy if we get this done now. Right.
Yeah. Fair enough. Kazim, what are you saying?
Hi, Jim. You all right, mate? How are things? Yeah, thanks for having me. I appreciate that,
mate. Absolutely sweating, to be honest. It's so hot at the moment. But yeah, how you doing?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. No, I'm absolutely buzzing with Sterling, man. And I love Raheem Sterling. He's going to offer definitely something different. He's definitely better than anyone else we have in that front line. He score goals. He create. He bring a lot of penalties as well to his game. Yeah, I think Raheem Sterling a fantastic sign. I mean, it's too much money for 1 year left in his contract, but ultimately Premier League proven 100 goals club thing. So no, the guy is a top. Win the league 4 5 times, something like that. Yeah. So England international. I think he's best player in England. I'm not gonna lie as well when he plays. So no, Raheem Sterling, fantastic player, mate. Happy with that.
What do you, again, obviously, how do you feel we can utilise him next season? How do you think he'll work in the Chelsea system? And do you feel we need more? Like, do you feel we need creators around him or whatever with what we currently have?
First of all, I mean, it's all down to the manager. I don't know. I think sometimes when I come to Tuchel, people find it, I criticize him. I'm not criticizing him. I just want to find out. I don't know what, first of all, nobody knows what formation he's going to bring next year. Because we don't know if he's going to sign. I mean, I would sign Raphinha. I'm not going to lie. Raphinha, I think, is a fantastic player.
Yeah.
If he stick with Kai Havertz, that mean, I mean, Kai Havertz, is he playing every game? Is he 20 goals a season? That's a question you have to ask. Otherwise, that mean he can play false 9, Raheem Sterling. But I think he's going to play in the left. He will play in the left. I think Raphinha will be in the right, and I think that means Mason Mount and Gallagher could be one of them has to be like in a double pivot or double 8. It depends on what Tuchel, what formation is going to do. It's very, very confusing. But my focus could be in midfield. I think we're very, very bad in midfield. I'm not going to lie. And obviously the centre back. We really need one midfield.
Who do you want?
If we know, that's my personal preference. If we, I like Declan Rice because he can play in multiple. I know I spoke about to you about that before, but if we not cannot bring Declan Rice, I like Milankovic-Savic. I think he's a fantastic player. He's written 6'6".
Two different players, though, aren't they? They're two different players.
Milankovic-Savic, yeah, he can play box to box. He can score goals. He can assist. Yeah, I think I rate Milankovic-Savic. I think he's a fantastic player. I really do. 6'2", can score goal. He can assist. Fantastic player. You give me that Matic 5. But I think he can score goals.
So I think what you're trying to say is you either want a Jorginho or a Kante-like replacement. Is that what you're trying to say?
I'm not a big Jorginho fan, man. I'm not gonna lie.
All right.
Fair enough. No, I'm the same as well. I'm just laughing at this guy on Twitter. It just made me laugh. People are just so fucking.
Yeah, just ignore him, man. You hear that all the time, James. Just ignore him, man. It is what, isn't it?
No, it's just funny. You know, you're explaining yourself, and obviously, 90% of people obviously understand what I'm saying. But there's always one that just doesn't.
Yeah.
Apparently, I'm being negative. Apparently, I'm negative, and I don't like Sterling. Apparently, that's what I've said.
But I don't get these people, man. Being objective is not being negative. It's being realistic.
It's normal in our fan base. There's always someone that wakes up negative and wants to be negative all the time. But we move. Yeah, Diane, what you saying, bro?
Hey Jam, how are you? How's everyone?
Yeah, not bad, man.
All right. So Kassam said something which is very right about Sterling. About he won a lot of Premier League with Man City, and that's the thing that we don't have. It's consistency in players. So one thing that I see in Sterling, yeah, sometimes he doesn't score that goals like one-on-one. He does miss some chances, but he always works hard with City. He fights. He tries to do something. He wins a free kick. He wins penalty. He does something, and that's the thing we don't have in attacks. When we look at players like Timo Werner, even Pulisic or Havertz, like when they go, let's say when we concede a goal, we just give up. Sterling will not give up. Sterling will keep fighting. We need someone like that. I thought Lukaku had that, but Lukaku was nothing. So now we have Sterling. I'm very happy. Now we should go get a creative winger. We have to go get the creative winger. For me, I will pick Raphinha over Dembele just because we get more games out of him. We cannot play Dembele as a wide wing back because I believe Tuchel was still gonna use 3-4-3 next season because we don't have. I mean, he's gonna use a back three because we don't have much time in preseason. He will stick with that, but I think Reece James will be right centre back because he will getting Ake will probably get Koulibaly, which probably be the left centre back. Ake will probably be. The thing about Ake, he's gonna be left back for Chilwell. I think Chilwell with that injury, we might not see him starting, all the games at the beginning because it's ACL injury. It would take time for Chilwell to get in his form. So that's why he took Ake because Ake can drop into the left centre back, and then Raphinha will be more attacking. Even in the lineup, you will see Raphinha playing as right wing back, but in the game, Raphinha will be up front with Havertz and Sterling, and Mount would drop in the midfield. That's how I see he wants to play. And even before I heard someone saying he wanted Raphinha to be in that right wing back position, but when we play, Raphinha will be right back. Raphinha will be the right winger. But this is why it's crucial we need a midfielder for Jorginho because Kovacic is good for one, but I do need someone who can, like Bissouma, who can run forward, who can run defensively also. Because if we don't get someone in DM, and if we don't get replacement for Reece James, we're going to be same situation like last year. In December, we're going to have 1 or 2 injuries. We might be first or second in the league, and we're going to be fighting top 4. We really need good squad players for Jorginho and Reece James. That's my thinking of how we can be successful.
Anyway, yeah, it is what it is. Yeah, no, I hear you, bro. I hear what you're saying. I think, and I have to keep stressing it. when I say we need more because the system is, I feel, overall very weak. And, you know, our 11s might not be bad once we improve it, but our squad depth might ultimately not be there. And if we have an injury for Reece James and we lose Sterling because he's out for a couple of weeks, or I don't know, or Chilwell gets injured again, like ultimately we're weakened. We're weakened. Do you know what I mean? And that's why I keep trying to say to people, like, just on a serious level, when I talk about Sterling, yeah, and I know it's not all you because I know all you can understand what I'm saying. When I talk about Sterling, he improves the squad massively. Of course he does.
Yeah.
I get that. But he's not enough. That's what I'm saying. It's not
Yeah,
against Sterling.
you're right.
I'm just saying he's not enough. I want to see more in this team for it to be effective. It's not fucking rocket science. It's common sense, what I'm saying. Anyway, we move on to that. Chelsea database, what are you saying?
Yeah, what's up, bro? So, yeah, like, I'm excited for Sterling. I can't lie. 47 million pounds. That's pretty bargain for someone that's like proven in the Premier League. And like just for some stats, like since his time at City, he's always scored over 10 goals. And then, like if you try to look at the last Chelsea winger that's done that, you could probably guess who it is. It was Eden Hazard. You know, in his last season. So that's obviously a big boost for us in terms of goal scoring. You know, he'll definitely feed off Reece James's crosses. But we also kind of need like a creative right winger and some like extra creativity, because if you look at Sterling and where his goals came in, he's come from a City team that's like have loads of fluidity, they create loads of chances, and we don't do that. So, you know, I'll be worried if we don't get any other creativity to complement Sterling, or else, you know, fans are going to complain about him. And also just to he's also had a conversion rate from like the last 4 years of 20%, which is really good actually, because if you compared him to someone like Salah, who has a 13% goal conversion rate, you know, that's like miles clear. So yeah, I'm excited for Sterling, definitely.
How do you feel we can utilise him, Chelsea database? Like, what? How do we get the best out of Sterling? Like, what do you feel Tuchel will do?
I think he plays him on the left wing. I think that's the idea that Tuchel's going for. Just because he's, you know, he's very good at getting on the end of crosses, and our best crosser is obviously Reece James, and obviously Mason Mount, who also plays kind of on the right side. So, you know, obviously feeding from creativity from those two, I think will be a key factor. But he's also flexible. He can play on the right wing. He can like dribble, take on players, and get to the byline and put a cross in. So he's very very flexible, which is key, I think.
Do you feel like did you kind of get what I say when I mention about he's not enough? Like we do need more in terms of the creativity aspect. Like who I mean, when you look at the Raphinha thing, do you think Raphinha is a player that can complement and maybe bring the best out of someone like Sterling as well? Do you think it would be quite important to try and get him across the line?
Yeah, 100%. Like I think either him or Dembele, if you get one of them, like like if we can go into like people talk about 4-3-3 and then like Matt in midfield, I think that's kind of where Sterling would do best in the 4-3-3, like out of the wing, like playing like an inside forward, coming in like for crosses and scoring goals. So yeah,
100%. I just feel that, you know, I do feel that there's going to be a lot of oh my god. Anyway, sorry, I just say it made me laugh. Yeah, I do think it's going to be interesting to see how this sort of summer window transpires. I do think there will be a lot more players that will come through the door as well. You know, this is one of many signings I expect to come through. The issue you've got now is we're going to pre-season, they're away on tour. You know, I expect another player next week. In variant, maybe another one, maybe two players, to be honest. You know, I think the heat's on now. You know, we're starting to close down on the time for the season, and he's going to want to have some sort of chemistry with some of the new signings through the door as well. So I just expect people to do quite a lot still, you know, and it's going to be interesting ultimately to see how it goes and what happens from there. But yeah, I mean, anyone else got anything to say before I shoot? Anything else you want to say?
Yeah. Well, what number do you think he wears though? Because he usually wears 7, but you know, N'Golo wears that.
Number 9.
He'll probably wear 11 or 9.
Number 9.
No, don't. That cursed shirt, man. You want him to float?
Yeah.
17. He wear 17, won't he?
Yeah.
Jim, can I ask you, what do you make of What do you make of Ronaldo, man? Do you want a Ronaldo? Please don't.
Oh my God.
No, please don't say it.
No, I think
No,
you know that
for me.
probably. I mean,
Kassim, man, the last thing I want, bro, is the Stanzi, man. They're toxic as hell.
Would you take
Fan bases
Depay?
are-
if
Would you
Chelsea
take
sign
Depay,
Ronaldo,
Chelsea?
huh?
Would you take Depay?
No,
No,
I think
no, they're fine.
if Chelsea sign a player like Ronaldo, what that tells me is that we have no plan.
Sure.
That is the truth.
100%.
We
I
have
actually
no
think
plan.
Depay could be
Commercial
a smart
goal,
signing.
Yeah,
Can I
that's
say
what.
something? I would take the buy over Ronaldo.
Depay can
I
play
think
in
when
the
you
front
look,
three.
yeah,
He
I
could be
think
a backup to
the player-
Havertz.
Yeah,
he's
he's a
just
good scorer.
versatile. He's versatile, isn't he? You know,
Yeah, he
he's
can play in the
versatile.
right.
And he is
He played
talented.
as
He is
striker
very
for
talented.
Barcelona. He plays striker for Barcelona. He used to play in the right and he's playing the left. He's physically strong and he's quick. I take it.
no disrespect, but I think he's probably going to be under the same category of our wingers, man. If we're going to go for a Barca player, I think Dembele is probably the only one. He's
Yeah, he's
probably
injury
the
prone
best
though.
out.
He's injury prone, bro.
Yeah,
I'm
he's
not sure
injury
about the
prone.
Premier League.
I don't want him because of his injury, because he was injured like half the time he was there at Barca. But he's probably the best one out of the other three. I think Depay would probably be under our attackers where they score maybe 5 to 10 goals a year. We've seen him at United. He wasn't
Yeah, but he was
that
young
great
though.
in the
That's a bit harsh on it. It's young. But listen. Listen, people keep banging about Dembele. Let me just say something before we go. Osman Dembele coming to the Premier League. Premier League, the most difficult league in the world. Very physical, right? I don't think it's not for me. I think Raphinha head and shoulder for me. I think Raphinha Premier League proven. First season he scored 6 goals and assists 9 in the Premier League. Second season he played more like 10, just behind the striker. That's why I like Raphinha, because he can play as a 10 as well. So he scored 11 goals and assists 3. So Raphinha for me worth the 60 million, right? And it's strictly a career and his eyes in the goal. Regards Osman Dembele, man. Osman Dembele coming to the Premier League. Yes, he's quick. Yes, he's direct. But listen, he's going to come with 300 grand a week. Most of the time, you're only going to get 15 games of him. I mean, I don't want to go there. So I think Raphinha's better signing. I take Memphis to buy if we have the opportunity to get him. Yeah, I think he's physically, he can show the Premier League. He's quick. He can play right. He can play.
Like I said it before about Raphinha. I said it. Barcelona use Raphinha so that Dembele signs a contract. Xavi said at the beginning that he always wanted Dembele to stay, and Raphinha, Barcelona are just gonna use Raphinha and use till Dembele signs a contract. Once Dembele signs a contract, that's it. We're out of Raphinha. Then we're gonna use media that throw Gerard Romero, who was dancing on Twitch or whatever. We're gonna use him and say, "Oh, Raphinha costs too much. He's not worth it." That would be the news when Chelsea sign Raphinha.
I think ultimately, I said it from day one before we go, Jim. I think Raphinha is going to be a Chelsea player.
I said it too. I said it too.
We'll find out by tomorrow if Leeds closed off.
Big up you, Jim. Thanks, guys.
Barca would have done it by now.
Take care, mate. Ultimately, I don't think. Listen, if Barcelona could match what Chelsea had offered, and I said it earlier in the show, they would have done it by now. They keep throwing things at Leeds because they're literally scribbling the bottom of their pockets, thinking that they can force the player.
They keep wasting their time. They keep wasting time until the second lever kicks in. But by then it's too late.
What they're trying to do is they're trying to use the fact that they know the player wants to play for them. So what they're trying to do is get as close as they can to it, but then ask Raphinha and Deco to force it on Leeds to accept. That's what I think they're trying to do. You know, and that's not happening because Leeds are thinking, blimey, now Chelsea giving us the cash, which is very unusual in football. You don't usually get most of it in cash straight away. Like, if I get it from Leeds' point, they're buying players left, right, and centre. That's money in their pocket. Do you know what I mean? They're not stupid. Do you know what I mean? So let's see what happens anyway, guys. Guys, make sure you smash the like button as always. Subscribe if you're new to GNA TV and Chelsea Fan TV. Let's get this over. GNA TV, we're on, what are we on at the moment? We're on 200 likes. So let's get this closer gap to 250 likes, please, on this one before we wrap up as well. Leave a comment in the box below about the show today. Obviously, we spoke about Sterling, how we could utilize him. Do you agree? Do you feel we need more? Do you feel that we need that creative spark? If you do, leave a comment in the box below in both the GNA TV channel and Chelsea Fan TV channel. Chelsea Fan TV viewers, 238 views, 276 likes still. Get this over 300 likes there as well. And again, like I said, we'll be back in the week, hopefully with some new players coming through the door to the football club as well. Take care of yourselves. Enjoy this day. Make sure you wear, sun cream and that if you're sitting in the sun and that, because it is hot out there. It's roasting. And
Don't stress about Chelsea and things we can't control. Touch grass,
Exactly.
enjoy the weather.
Big up, everyone. See you later. Take care.
Big up, bro.
See you guys. See you in a bit.